Hey, Divi Nation, thanks for stopping by our documentation to learn all about our sidebar module. So this is a really fun way of kind of grabbing content from the widget area that's built into WordPress and displaying it anywhere on your website that you put this module. So you can create widgetized areas in your WordPress admin, WP admin, so appearance widgets, and then you can pull that content via a sidebar into just about anywhere on your website. And we're going to show you how to do that in this documentation video, as well as how to customize it and a fun use case. So enjoy, check it out.
In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of Divi's sidebar module. Now this sidebar module allows you to create an unlimited number of widget areas anywhere in your web page. And it's not limited to just displaying widgets on a sidebar area of your website. You can actually use it to deploy any of these custom widget areas to any part of your web page using the Divi builder and using this sidebar module. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at some of the settings available to us when we use the sidebar module, and then let's also go over how to add one to your page. As you can see, I'm editing a blog post page right now, and I have some mock content here just to serve as an example for us. There's a post slider up here at the top. There's also a blog feed on the left side of my page in the content area. And then there's a sidebar area to the right here where I'm using a sidebar module to display some content. And I'm also using a couple of modules here to display some other content in conjunction with my sidebar module. So the sidebar module actually is a great way for you to combine the more standard sidebar functionality with the Divi builder and all the Divi builder modules to create your own unique layout for whatever it is you want to use it for. So let's go ahead and take a look on the back end just to see how all of this works. I'm in the Visual Builder. And as you hover over this section down here, you can see that it's highlighted in orange. This tells me that it is a specialty section. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the wireframe view here, just so you can see the way that the page is currently set up and where the sidebar module is in conjunction with everything else. So I'm going to click on my wireframe view here. All right, so at the top section, you have a full width post slider, and then you have your specialty section with the blog content to the left, and then in the sidebar area of my specialty section, I have at the top a sidebar module. Underneath my sidebar module, I also have a couple of other modules that, maybe you want to add some, Divi modules to your sidebar area. You can do that in conjunction with the sidebar module here. All right, so let's toggle out of my wireframe view. And to show you how to build this sidebar module with its contents, I'm going to actually go ahead and delete it. Let's go over to our back end of our website, to the WordPress dashboard, to the widgets area. So go to Appearance, go to Widgets here, and then you'll see that this is where I can add all of the widgets. This comes standard with every WordPress installation, so you probably are already familiar with how widgets work. And traditionally you would have a designated sidebar section for your WordPress theme, and you could pull in your widgets to this sidebar here, and it will display in your default sidebar wherever it is you have set. I think so for instance, if you're not using the Divi builder and maybe you have a standard blog layout with a standard sidebar, then this is where you would add the widgets to fill in the content for what that sidebar is going to display. But since we're using a Divi builder and we're adding our sidebar module here, we can pull from these widget areas any of the content that is that is contained within these areas. So since we're starting from scratch, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to pull out these so you can see what it looks like from the start. Also going to delete this here, this new widget area. We'll add that later. And so now this is what it would look like when you first begin. And to start off, one of the things that you might want to add to your sidebar would be a search bar. So maybe you pull in your search bar there. And then you probably also want to, use this recent posts widget, which is convenient to display your recent posts. And then maybe I want to add a ET About Me widget. Now, this comes with your Divi theme. Now that we have our sidebar area populated here with everything that we want to contain, let's go over to our page here using our visual builder, and we're going to add a sidebar module to our sidebar area here. Click on Add New Module, search for the sidebar module, click it, and you'll see that it pops up this sidebar settings. And the first option that we see available to us is the widget area. And we have the ability to select any of those widget areas that we saw in the back end of our WordPress dashboard here. So if I toggle that closed, just to get a better idea, we see sidebar, footer area 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the same thing we see in this list. Also, you can create your custom widget areas, however many that you want, and they will automatically populate in this little drop-down menu here. So you can select them when adding these custom widget areas to your website. You also notice that the content has been populated here for us on our sidebar area, because this is now the content of our sidebar module, since we are pulling from our sidebar widget area, which has this content. So the search widget, recent post widget, and the About Me widget, and there they are displayed. I'm going to go ahead and save that out, and let's go ahead and move it up to the top of our sidebar here. Now you'll notice that there is a little bit of a difference between the design of my sidebar module and these modules that I have set up for my site here. And so let's go over some of the options available for us when we set up our sidebar module, just so we can see how to go about matching this to our current page design. So I'm going to go back into my sidebar module settings here, and I'm going to go under my content tab. I'm going to continue on with our settings, and I'm going to click on background. Now I could add a background to the whole module if I wanted to. Let's say, just to give you an idea, if I change this to maybe a blue or something, maybe I wanted to give it a dark gray to match this one, I could do that. But I'm actually going to leave it for now and not include a background image. Let's go on to our design tab, where we see a whole lot more options available to us to further design this sidebar module. You'll see layout can be left or right aligned. You can see that how this would come in handy if you're actually using it on a sidebar, because if I choose the right orientation, it puts this bar here to divide my content section and my sidebar content. I could also choose to not show that border at all. So I'm actually going to keep it like that. So if you're wondering how to get rid of that border there, just toggle this off. text module, the text area here, I can change the text color from dark to light, which is something I'm actually going to do. Now you can see that that's disconcerting here because now we can't see anything. I'm actually going to go to our advanced tab for this. This is a helpful trick to actually add a background to the individual widgets within the sidebar module, as opposed to adding, like I showed you, the background in the content section to the whole module. This will add it to the individual widgets within the module. So if I go to the custom CSS section here, and this is where in the advanced tab, this is where you can add further design to your module, like custom CSS, adding custom CSS IDs and classes if you need to target using an external style sheet and things like that. But for now, I'm just going to target this widget element within the module. So this will stylize any CSS I put here will stylize all of the widgets within my module. So in this case, I'm simply going to add a background, and I'm making a dark gray here. And I'm also going to add a padding here of 20 pixels. And so you can see just by me doing those two simple things, I have matched the rest of my sidebar items using this custom CSS box. So it's helpful. This is just a little trick in case you were wondering how to do that. Everything else obviously can be done within the design tab, and that's where we're going to continue right now. So if I go to my header text, give my header a uppercase font. I can also change the size. I'm going to go ahead and put it around 26 pixels. I'm going to give my header letter spacing here. Add it. Just put 3 pixels there. Actually 2 looks good. I could adjust the width of my module if I wanted to, and add any custom margins or padding to the actual module there, along with animation. So if I wanted to animate the sidebar as you scroll down the page, you can do that as well. Maybe add a slide in, fade, or something like that. All right. Now that we've added our sidebar module to our web page using the visual builder, let's go ahead and add another sidebar module, a couple of them actually, to another place on our web page, just to show you that it's not limited to just one sidebar section. Let's go to the back end to our WordPress dashboard, and let's go to our widget section again. And this time we're actually going to create a new widget area. You can do that in this box here by inputting your new widget area name. Just call it new widget area. I'll call it number 1. And I'll press create, refresh the page, and there you can see it show up there. I'm going to add one more. Call this new widget area number 2. Create that one and refresh the page. All right. So now when I go back down to go ahead and save this out. Scroll down to the bottom there and create a new section to my layout. Add a new regular section. Let's give it a 2-column layout row. In my first row on the left side, I'm going to add the sidebar module. And then I'm going to actually go here and select from my content tab. The widget area is going to be new widget area number 1, the new one that I added. As you can see, it automatically is updated in my sidebar module. So I select that one. Nothing's going to show up yet because I actually haven't added anything to it. Sorry. Let's go ahead and add a new sidebar module to my right column. And this time, let's go ahead and select widget area number 2. Now, all I need to do once I save that out is go back to my WordPress dashboard in the widgets section, and let's go ahead and populate these with whatever widgets I want to display in those 2 columns at the bottom of my page. Just as an example, I'm going to pull in a categories section to my first widget area there. And let's see, let's go ahead and pull in a custom menu. Just place to display a menu if you needed to, and save that out. Now let's go back to our web page, and we're gonna save and refresh the page. All right, so we have a category section and then the menu here to the right. You can also use this to incorporate plugins like Elegant Themes' Bloom plugin, for example. Once it's installed, you'll have the option of adding your Bloom widget to your website, and so it will show up over here in your available widgets. Customize it, and then drag it over to your new widget area, and then pull it in through your sidebar module, and that way you can display those Bloom modules anywhere on your website. All right, I hope you've enjoyed our overview of the sidebar module.